E. Why men cheat? They don't eliminate things that need to be eliminated. Listen, if you know you got a deep-rooted issue in lust and you haven't eliminated that pride, you haven't eliminated that lust, you haven't eliminated that false expectation or false hope, you're going to cheat. Because if you don't eliminate it, it's going to mess you up. And the other E that I was thinking about, men don't know how to deal with what's hard, so they go the easy way out. Some men just want the easy. So what it is they got the wife, but marriage is hard.
It's hard.
It's hard, man. It's hard when other things want to be hard too, man. Like, it's hard. It's hard navigating this life. If you always want to get the easy way out, then you're not fit for marriage. You got to go through. There's certain days you just got to go through, get through, and get home.
That's right.
Get home, hug that wife, cast down that vain imaginations. It's not going to be easy. Reason why men cheat, they thought it was going to be easy to be faithful. No, it is not. Outside of God, it's not. So that's why you hide yourself in him, because the devil ain't gonna make it easy.
Nah.
Because women want what they can't have. Certain women want what they can't have. Because the moment that you got, like, listen, the moment you have a wife, women who are insecure begin to think that you're valuable now, because if she married him, then he must have something he must have something to offer. And now envy is in. Now men have to deal with the envy in other women, and envy don't fight fair. Envy don't even want you, fellas. You gotta understand, when a woman envies the woman that you with, and she's trying to get to you, she don't love you. So when you done slept with her and did stuff with her, she left because she got a strike in the win category in her life. Do not allow women's envy and out of nowhere interest in you, and she makes it easy for you, make you fall away from the hard work you need to put in to making sure you are attentive and engaging in your own marriage.
Yeah, I think that might be, like, for me, that's probably the number one reason I think why men cheat.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to, go find a mistress and a woman is throwing themselves at you, and you go ahead and you handle that. Like, that's easy. It's hard to stay in a committed, marital relationship. Mm-hmm. It's hard to love your wife, when you wake up in the middle of wake up first thing in the morning and she looking like, what happened? Mm-hmm. Like, it's hard to go through those arguments and those disagreements that you have and still love that person regardless. Still cooking breakfast the next morning. Like, life is hard. Going through those circumstances with another person, it's hard. It's hard to sacrifice for another person. That's what marriage is. And a lot of people don't want to do that. They get into marriage and they're thinking it's going to be easy, it's going to be a fairy tale, and they get hit with that reality. Nah, this is hard. I don't want to do this. I can just go, talk to this chick who's been trying to holler at me at work. My wife won't know. You can cheat in other ways. It ain't got to be with another person.
That's real.
We're going to talk about it in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
On-demand pleasure.
On-demand pleasure.
That's cheating. Because it's not fair to your wife.
Yeah.
It's not fair. But that's easy, though. It's easy. So, I think that's probably the biggest reason. I think godly men are willing to live that life of sacrifice. It's a life of sacrifice. It's a life of discipline. But we know, as real men, as godly men, that it's worth it. It's worthwhile.
It's worth it. And a lot of men, they want glory but no grind.
Mm-hmm.
Or they want the grind, the glory of the grind, if you know what I mean, for the SEX. You see what I'm saying? What I'm trying to make plain here is that a godly man understands that everything worth having has a grind to it, a work to it. If all you care about is the glorification of marriage and not the grind of marriage, if all you hear about and see on Instagram and social media, the glory of marriage, the traveling, the meals, the company, the having a person there, you're gonna get intoxicated with that glory.
Right.
And then when the glory comes down and it's 2 weeks after the honeymoon, and now you actually have to work. See, dating, you still have an opportunity to dip out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you probably
Right.
still doing your mess on the side. But when you married up under God, now you really have to grind. And I tell men all the time, faithfulness is not proven in the space of the one that you're with. Faithfulness is proven when that person's not around. Faithfulness not anybody can be faithful when their wife's around. Right. Anybody can be faithful when their husband around, but faithfulness is tested when that person knows nothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's commitment. Commitment says I'm committed even if the one that I'm committed to don't even see all of the challenges that I have to go through, but I choose to be committed. You have to understand, there's no pat on the backs for doing what you're supposed to do.
No.
So don't be looking for coming home. I've been faithful today, wife.
Right, like she owe you something.
Like she owe you something. No, that's what you.
You want a cookie?
You want a cookie?
That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what you're supposed to do. Now go take this trash out. You see what I'm saying? Like, stop looking for. And I think we live in an era where everybody wants to be celebrated for what they're supposed to do.
You're right.
We grew up in an era where you didn't get celebration. You didn't get nothing. We didn't get 8th place trophies. You lost.
Right.
Deal with it.
We got a generation now, they get trophies for everything. So you coming home just because you ain't cheating. The chick tried to holler at you at work and you told her you married. You ain't even tell you married. You had your ring on. so
you halfway was committed.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't even lie if you wanted to. And you think that you're supposed to get some kind of award. Where my dinner at? I know you giving it up to me tonight.
There's no cookie. There's no cookie for commitment.
No,
you committed. That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what you're supposed to do, and it's not easy. Yeah, it's hard sometimes, but you're not getting celebrated for that.
You ain't gonna get celebrated.
That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what you're supposed to do. So
I think that's where a lot of people fall short and get hurt. They're like, man, I'm out here doing the right thing. You know what I mean? Sacrificing, and ain't nobody patting me on the back. Ain't nobody giving me a cookie. What I'm doing this for? Let me go ahead and go over here. But your reasons can't be for, a pat on the back or some cookie. Mm-hmm. Your reasons got to be deeper than that. Your reasons got to be because I love the God that I serve, and this is what He said that is best for a man and a woman. It's not good for a man to be alone. He knows something that I don't know. So maybe this woman that He gave me is actually good for me. Maybe I should be loyal and faithful to her, and maybe He's got something, planned for us that greater than we can even possibly imagine. But I got to be faithful over what He's given me. I gotta till this land. I gotta water this seed.
You just got.
A lot of people don't want to do that.
They don't want to do that, man. You can't be looking for celebration. You just gotta continue elevating. You see what I'm saying? Just keep improving, keep growing. Don't be looking for approval. Just know that you're doing it for a good purpose. A person who serves doesn't look for accolades. Or people who serve are not looking for applause. Their applause is in their serving. Their joy is in the fact that they're serving. So when you have that mindset in marriage, you're not calculating, like, because that's what happens when you begin looking for celebration. Then all of a sudden you start going to where you celebrate it. Your wife is not tolerating you. Stop thinking that she's tolerating you. Like, that's what, like, people be like, well, I'm going to go where I'm celebrated. And you just want to be around women that just says you handsome every day. Want to be around women that talk about, well, I wish I had a man like you. Man, that stuff will mess you up. You better go where you appreciate it, not where you celebrate it. You see what I'm saying? And if you're not, your wife will let you know if she's appreciative. Like, appreciation is rooted in action. If you do no action, there's no appreciation. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But men be like, well, I did, but did you really do a good job? Like, are you really likable? Are you really considerate? You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden you telling this other woman, like, well, my wife don't say nothing, but you don't do nothing. The fact that you entertain other women proves you don't do nothing in your own house.
Right.
All right. Why men cheat? Their associations. Birds of a feather flock together. Some men are just around other men that talk a certain type of way, that talk dishonorably about marriage. You got to be very careful what you're around and who you're around. Those seeds will be planted in your mind, and you'll begin to look through their lens of marriage. The only lens you should look at marriage through is through the lens of God. Every other lens, you can't be around hurt men and unholy men and men that's out there just doing damage and expect that you're going to walk pure too. You got to change your associations. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be around people who are talking negatively about marriage, talking about what you're around a bunch of single guys, you're around a bunch of unhappily married men, you're gonna be single and unhappy. Keep being around single and unhappily men, then you're gonna adopt their views and you'll be the cancer to your own marriage.
I don't know who said it, but I know I've heard the quote, "You are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most amount of time with."
That's right.
Right? So if you rolling with other guys that if you married, first of all, you need to find some married friends.
Yeah.
Find some other married homeboys. Because if all your homeboys are single and they talk about single issues, what you think you know what I mean? Like your mindset needs to be that of a married person.
That's right.
Your way of thinking is entirely different from somebody who is single. They worried about different stuff. So if you're engrossed in all their conversations of what they're dealing with as single men and some of the stuff that they get to do, you're like, oh man, I did used to be able to go wherever I wanted to go and talk to this one and then have this one on the side, in the back pocket just in case. And like, you don't need to be thinking that way anymore. So you can't be associating with that. If you got friends that are married and they ain't faithful, or they not about their marriage, or they not, sold out and committed to their wife, you don't need to be hanging with them or talking to them.
No.
Because that's going to rub off on you. You got to find some like-minded people that are trying to do this thing the right way, that are trying to be faithful and serve their wife, and are of the same mindset that you are. That's why, like I said, it's important for me to talk to J.E. on the phone.
It's important.
You might want to let me have this conversation because it keeps me grounded. It
Yeah.
keeps me sound, keeps me focused.
That's right.
On the right path. That's why we talk and we chop it up. It's important. So if you have the wrong associations, if you don't have a support, a group of men, like-minded men trying to do the right thing that you can talk to and bounce ideas off of, it's easy to get out there and you feel like you're all alone. I'm trying to do this thing the right way, and I don't know anybody else trying to do this. Everybody else seem to be doing what they want to do and enjoying themselves. Maybe I'm in this thing alone.
Yeah.
Maybe I should just go out and do, what everybody else is doing.
Listen, so
There's other guys out there that's doing the right thing. So you just got to find them. You got to associate with the right people.
that's right. You got to surround yourself with people that has what you want and not around people that have what you don't. Meaning, you got to surround yourself with people who has a happy marriage, have a fruitful marriage, a godly marriage. Surround yourself with people that has what you want. Right? Don't surround yourself with people that don't have that don't have what you want. You know what I'm saying? Or need. If you surround yourself with guys who don't have what you have, you're going to end up having what they have. If you surround yourself with people that has what you biblically and godly and deeply desire to have, you'll have what they have. It's that simple. So you gotta let single people be single people, and you be a married man. Let your single guys be single, and and this goes. And we're gonna get to the ladies too. I know this is twofold. Same things for ladies, but we'll get there a little bit later. But why men cheat? Idle time. Idle time. See, a godly man is purposed, focused, productive. A man who thinks about generational wealth ain't thinking about what he can help himself to. A man that's thinking about a godly seed and a happy wife and a secure and stable wife don't even have time. Sometimes when I get home, I'm tired because I'm thinking about a better marriage. How can I be a better man? I'm thinking about when we have kids, what we gonna say. It's idle. No, you can't be idle, bro. See, that's why you got to make sure you're whole as a man, and you also got to make sure that you understand the purpose of marriage, that God is going to join you with the woman that's going to help. Y'all going to help each other, and y'all purpose are going to complement. And y'all always got some. Today at church, I was at church 3 times a day. I was at church for the main service. Me and my wife is leading the millennial ministry at my church. Then I had to go speak to the college kids tonight. And now I'm on the podcast. See what I'm saying? And Monday I got a podcast I'm doing. Tuesday I got a podcast. Monday I got a podcast for men. Tuesday I got a daily play podcast. Wednesday I got a live Q&A. Thursday I got a dating prep podcast. And in between the week I'm chopping up videos and writing books. There ain't no time to think about nobody else. Idle time leads to an idle mind. Idle mind leads to idle hands. Idle hands leads to getting them hands busy with something else.
You shouldn't have time.
Exactly. That's the simplest way to put it, BD.
If you are handling your business and you doing what you need to be doing as a man of God, you shouldn't have time to entertain an affair. When?
When do you have time?
Between holding down whatever job it is or whatever it is that's bringing in the primary source of income. You wear many hats as a man of God. You have many things that you're responsible for. So if you're not going to work, providing for your wife and for your family, if you're not in church, being nurtured and growing in the things of God, if you're not spending time with your wife, going on a date night, watching TV, reading together, studying together, if you're not trying to create generational wealth, start a business, figure out ways that you guys, can start businesses that can, generate income. If you're not spending time with your kids, if you have kids, if you don't have kids, planning for when you have kids, like there's so much stuff that you have that you could be doing, that you could be working on. You should not have time. What are you gaining by entertaining an affair with somebody else when you and your wife have a purpose that y'all are trying to build towards? Now, if y'all don't have a purpose, if y'all don't have something that y'all are building towards, I could see how you could have time for that. But I'm sorry that we talked about it in our other episode, why you should stay single. If you don't know what your purpose is, you shouldn't be married.
Yep.
Because if you're married, you should know what your purpose is. She should know what her purpose is. And y'all should be working on some stuff together. Like, man, marriage is a team.
It's a team.
Don't be married just to be married.
Don't be
married in a...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Don't be stat piling, man. This ain't no Russell Westbrook. Stop trying to get triple doubles. Stop trying to... You getting rebounds, points, and you doing everything? It's a team. Get your wife involved. Pass her the ball sometime. Celebrate her when she scores. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a team. You got to think, if we all eating. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to, like, bruh, like BD said, man, you shouldn't have time. If this ain't strong, you always going to have time. If this is strong, you have no time. Period.
I'm constantly on. If I'm not at work, I'm at the crib spending time with my wife. If I'm not spending time with my wife, I'm spending time with my kids. If I'm not spending time with my kids, I'm doing the podcast. If I'm not doing the podcast, I'm editing videos. If I'm not editing videos, I'm on YouTube improving my hair cutting skills. If I'm not learning how to cut hair, I'm learning how to edit videos better on YouTube. There's so much stuff. Go to their books, YouTube. You can learn how to do anything.
Yeah.
I taught myself how to cut hair because I have 4 boys and I don't want to pay a barber every 2 weeks. That's a $200 a month right there.
Wow, that's real.
You know what I mean? We got a podcast. I learned how to edit. Teach your stuff. Learn a new skill. Learn a new trade. Spend time with your wife. Spend time with your kids. Go to work. You should not have time.
And if you married and y'all going through a tough spat right now, y'all going through a tough season, just because y'all going through a tough patch doesn't mean you go and find a new land to tend. Utilize that time to increase yourself. Utilize that time to develop yourself. Utilize that time just to serve the hell out of your marriage. And what I mean by that, you say, devil, you're not going to win. I'm not going to allow this hellish experience. I'm not going to allow this tough experience to make my mind where I'm fighting for this. You see what I'm saying? No, I'm fighting for this. Listen, that's why I tell people all the time, don't wait for them to say sorry. I don't care if they're wrong. You go and say you sorry. Go and say, you know what, if I would have did this better, I wouldn't have set you up to be here. You see what I'm saying? Don't allow the enemy to take away the sanctity and the beauty of marriage. Fight for that thing. Or you're gonna be out of it. Because the enemy knows all I got to do is make y'all. That's why the Bible says you wrestle not against flesh and blood. Listen, it takes me. Listen, anytime me and my wife get into it, it could be over. It could be a little because we don't argue. We communicate. I don't get into that raising the voice stuff. You know what? Before that sun go down, it's fixed. If it happened after the sun done went down, before the sun comes up, it's fixed. I'm not going to give the devil multiple days to have his hands in my marriage.
That's right.
Because the moment you do that, somebody else is going to look more, well, I can fix that for you. I'll be better. I can't believe she did that. If I was her, I would have. Ooh. And all of a sudden, now you're entertaining what she says she may do, and then you leave your 80 for her 20 and realize she don't got nothing but 20% off. Anyway, levels of cheating, and then we'll get to why godly men don't cheat, and we're done. Thank you all so much for watching the Good Guys Podcast here on my YouTube channel. If you haven't already yet, make sure you subscribe to the Good Guys Podcast here. If you want to enjoy the rest of the content of this podcast, click this video over here. Make sure you hit the bell. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, a thumbs up. If you're watching this on Facebook, head over to YouTube right now. Type in the Good Guys Podcast. We'll love to see you over there. Subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment, thumbs up. We'll see you over there soon.